attention centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus. That satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here.
Night of the Living Dead VR is our interpretation, or at least I think it is our interpretation of the aesthetics and the feel and some of the goals of the film into something that's more immersive.
We're hoping that you get an experience that makes you feel as if you're in the film. So it's a black and white experience. It gives it a very sort of nostalgic and creepy vibe to it.
We've got to get out of here. We have to get where there's some other people.
I think Night of the Living Dead is like perfect VR fodder because of just the sense of dread. For me, feels like a really great place to try and design a VR experience from. Largely because VR is pretty isolating. Like, it can be quite isolating, it can be quite spooky, and so I think that's why these kinds of translations can work really well.
From a technical perspective, we would start off by gathering references. So taking things from the film, taking stills from the film, finding any kind of set photography that existed. And then we'd take all those references and build a schematic so we understand how we're laying it out, almost like an architectural plan.
My role on the project was a lot of the interaction design, a lot of the actual programming, some of the lighting. I got very hype about a lot of the lighting and choices in the film, and being able to translate that into three-dimensional VR space was super fun for me.
For recreating the music, essentially I'm a one-man band, so I take layers of all sorts of different orchestral instruments, and to recreate something that sounds like the opening cue, they're all playing in unison. There's dun 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 dun, and just kind of experimenting with something that has that kind of feel to it.
This is Bill Cardell, WIC. Bill, for that report. Official spot.
So there's a lot of media in the film. There's a lot of elements, you know, radio, broadcasts, television. And so we kind of did this fine edit of all the material, removing as much of the story that's happening while they're watching TV, listening to radio, etc., and inserting that into the scene. So you can go in and you can watch the television broadcast, you can listen to the radio broadcast, switch between a number of different radio broadcasts, kind of bringing that material back to life.
We spent a lot of time modeling characters that looked just like the film. It was a little bit difficult because we had very little reference. There were only bits and pieces of the actual zombies head-on or from the side profile. We, as best as we could, tried to recreate both their costumes, their makeup, and the actual physical look of them.
I don't think you need to be a Night of the Living Dead fan to enjoy the project. I think you need to be a fan of spooky things. I think you need to be a person who enjoys being a little bit scared. I would like to think that it's a thing that could be enjoyed by anybody who wants like a bit of a spooky moment.
We back on?
Max and Arv have really created a very striking visual environment, and it's regardless of your original connection to the film, it's a spooky but very nice place to spend some time. Don't let it scare you too much. You won't come out with your hair white in this experience. There's lots of just interesting details to go around and explore, regardless if you are a super fan of the original film.